Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Today I want to talk about Kenny Pickett, and this will be a slightly longer intro than usual. I try to get into the tape as soon as possible because I know that's what people want, but I know people are not going to like this video that I'm doing right now of Kenny Pickett, and sometimes you have to talk about the bad even when things are good. The way that I talk about the good, even when things are bad in week one, get destroyed by the 49ers. My first video was on, hey, Keanu Benton played pretty well. Let's look at the positive there. So I want to preface by saying Kenny Pickett played his best game of the year on Sunday night against the Raiders. It was a low bar, granted, but it was still better, his best game improvement. And we'll even end this video with a positive play just to go out on that note. But the one thing that I really harped on as much as anything in my off-season video I did on Kenny Pickett, breaking down every single snap, every single throw that he made in 2022, was this habit of bailing on clean pockets, of inviting pressure, of feeling the rush when it's not there. And I think it's really a product of the internal clock going off where he says, I gotta move, I gotta leave. And you see that a lot with young, fairly mobile quarterbacks who are used to using and can use and want to use their legs and extend the play. And there are a lot of instances in this Raiders game where you're seeing Pickett bail on clean pockets and have negative outcomes, and this just has to be corrected. So with that out of the way, and if you're still here and still with me, and I appreciate it if you are, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to the tape. And I chose 4 examples to me that are just no doubters, indisputable, bailing on clean pockets, no reason for it at all. There's a couple other ones that were more borderline, and to save the YouTube argument, I'm picking 4, I think, just obvious ones. So this one, 4-man rush, clean pocket the whole way around. Dan Moore, Isaac Seumalo, Mason Cole, everyone's done their job to maintain the width and the depth of the pocket, and you see Pickett scramble to his right. Now, to be fair, Chuck Wilmark-Corfor, the right tackle, loses the block here to Max Crosby. So I'm not saying that Pickett would have been good had he kind of stayed where he was, but he's drifting and running into the sack here and accelerating that into Max Crosby. And so for some reason, he just kind of starts to lose his posture. He's keeping his eyes downfield a little bit, but he's just running into this one. And if we look at the aerial view, if he just kind of works the progression, there's a check down option here to Jaylen Warren, and he just missed that, and it results in a sack. So this is probably the least egregious of the 4 that we're going to look at, but the principle being you're seeing Pickett, just kind of feel that internal clock go off, feel like I got to move, I got to start rolling. He especially likes to go to his right in these situations, and he's running himself in part into the sack. A little bit later in the game, and a really clear and egregious example. And this is a pretty early bail by Kenny Pickett. And it's not like he's in the pocket for 3 to 4 seconds and the internal clock starts to go off. I mean, he's leaving pretty quickly. And this is a nice pocket overall, kept by the offensive line, at least by the time that Pickett bails. So we'll run this one through. The tackles do a good job here initially. The interior line does a good job keeping the depth of the pocket with the double team from Cole and Daniels and Seumalo at left guard, and he starts to run, and that creates the pressure there. If he stays in the pocket, that D tackle's not going to influence this one, and this ends up being a jump throwaway to the sideline, incomplete. And I know at the end here the right defensive end beat Moore, but I don't think Pickett, he's bailing before that occurs. I mean, he doesn't feel that pressure, I don't think, there from the DN here getting the edge. I mean, he's just kind of bailing just to bail and start to run. And if he just works the progression, even, if you want to say that DN is influencing that in some way, just work the progression here. You got this over the ball route by Allen Robinson. And I know it's easy to sit there and say, oh, throw it to the open guy and play armchair quarterback from the All-22 when you can go back and slow down and rewatch these things. There's a progression, to every single, call. But I just don't see Pickett working the progression here. He just kind of locks on the right side. It's not there initially. He starts to slide that way, invites pressure, and creates the throwaway. And if he just kind of works, back to the middle of the field, he hits Robinson. You got a good gain, got a really positive play out of that. So they're giving the sim pressure look. They drop out, they rush 4, but you're just seeing Pickett bail really early here. And instead of a possible completion, you get the throwaway. So that's what happens on this play. Another example in the second half, and again, maybe the sim pressure looks were rattling him a little bit, and I know, listen, he got beat up in this game, and the line, I thought, struggled worse in pass protection in this game than even they were in the 49ers or the Browns game. So if you want to, blame the offensive line for some of this, maybe, but this was on tape all last year, and he's inviting some more pressure and taking some more shots because he's bailing. And you see him again working to his right here, and he runs into Max Crosby and results in another throwaway where he's inviting pressure. He's making life harder on the tackle because the tackle's assuming that Pickett's, at the top of his drop, and he's got the angle to work on Crosby here to block it up. And then once that changes, Crosby no longer has to go through a core four. He just has to go down and around. And that's pressure right there that's created solely by Kenny Pickett. And this is a clean pocket overall. And we're going to go ahead and just stop it whenever he looks to start to bail right here. This is a great pocket. I mean, this is, very, very good overall. And that makes it harder on Daniels because he now, the D tackle can just chase and not have to go through and go around, and you just get the throwaway. So we'll look at it from the aerial view here, and I don't know exactly what all might have been open, but again, the principle is you're seeing Kenny Pickett bail on a clean pocket. And yeah, I mean, overall, there's not anything super available, and so I'm not going to necessarily nitpick it in that sense, but I'm just looking at, are you working your eyes? Are you trying to find your check down and just hanging in there? If the pocket's clean, the pocket's clean. Let's hang in there and see if something opens up, and if there is pressure, then okay, take off and run. But you just see him bail. We'll look at it. He's bailing right here. It's a clean pocket overall, invites pressure, and leads to the incompletion. Last example, get the man in motion. That's Allen Robinson. And yet again, internal clock goes off. Clean pocket, bail to the right. It's always to the right. Always wants to move that way, and he's a right-handed quarterback, and that's what most of those guys do. I think he can throw and move to his left pretty effectively, but clean pocket, four-man rush overall. I mean, again, this is all day to throw. Now, you want to slide, you want to hitch, you want to, move a little bit to, change something? Sure. I mean, that's fine. That's, interior pocket movement. That's what good quarterbacks do, but he's running all the way to the right and running himself right into 91, and that creates pressure and getting another sideline incompletion on this play. So just hang tough, work through your reads here. Again, making life tough on your tackles by running so far wide. And listen, there's not really anything open downfield. I understand that. So I'm not going to pretend like he missed something wide open on this play, but you're not doing yourself any favors by, basically forcing the ball out of your hand a lot sooner than it should have been because you're running into the pressure. So we'll take a look at the other end zone view and just starts running here. I mean, this is blocked up well. You cannot get a better pocket than this at the NFL level. And you run into the pressure here, and now you're forced to throw this one away basically, and it's incomplete. And so that's 4 examples of just clear bailing when he didn't have to, when he had a super clean pocket, and 4 negative plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, if you hung through all of that, we'll look at one positive play, because there certainly were positives from Kenny Pickett. You guys know I'm fair. I'll talk about the good. I'll talk about the bad. Sometimes it's one video focusing on just the good or just the bad. I like to generally be pretty focused in my videos so they don't go on and they have a salient point. But we'll switch things up here and look at the touchdown to Pat Freiermuth, booting to his left. Nice job here. Good throw on the run, complete to Freiermuth for the touchdown. The second touchdown of Kenny Pickett's day. The first time he's ever had a multi-touchdown day. So good for him. Good concept overall. And I think Pickett's a pretty accurate thrower on his left. I think he's worked at it and gotten more comfortable. We'll take a look at the other end zone view that probably shows it a bit better from Pickett's perspective. Again, you're going to get 3-level possibility here. You're going to get the flat, which is typically the first read. That's taken away. Work the progression. Shoulder square. Good, strong, accurate throw. And little finger gun there to Mike Tomlin, who points it right back at him. Everyone's feeling good. Nice job there. Overall, in Pittsburgh, adds to their lead. So that is one positive. And again, several positives from Pickett in this game. Saw some progress, but still work to do. And I really think, again, not just this game, his entire rookie year, bailing on clean pockets must be cleaned up. We'll keep an eye on it going forward. So those are my thoughts on Kenny Pickett. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you guys could like this video and also subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.